Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing out there today? I hope you're having a good day. We try our best around here to just get through it day by day, right? As we know, we are involved in the stupidest trade wars in the history of mankind. Some would say the stupidest trade wars. That I can tell you. So Donald Trump obviously has started multiple trade wars and has folded over and over and over. Now, yesterday I touched on the China stuff for a little bit, but really what's going on today is that I think it was the CEO of Walmart and Target and I believe Home Depot had to intervene and talk to Donald Trump about the harm that he is causing businesses and consumers in America. Now, to be clear, this is not a video where I'm crying for these millionaire and billionaire CEOs and I'm worried about if they can afford another yacht. That's not what's happening. I'm still here for us, my friends, the working class, the people that, you know, sometimes are paycheck to paycheck or maybe carrying a negative balance in their bank account waiting for payday to show up. You know, us average bastards out here just trying to get by. So before anybody gets confused and thinks I'm offering up any sympathy to them, I am not doing that at all. But they had to go talk to Donald Trump about his stupid fucking trade wars and the damage that he is causing to America in a lot of different ways. He's possibly looking at, if he keeps his bullshit up, possibly starting a global recession. And that's why you see all these other countries rushing to get other trade partners and secure other deals, because they're just going to let us go down all by ourselves at this point. And that's what's going to happen. But yesterday we talked a bit about the China tariffs, where I had said that Donald Trump had folded on them, which he kind of did, but we're still very unclear on what exactly Donald Trump is doing with tariffs. Nobody really knows. And market uncertainty is a really bad thing. It's really terrible. Now, keep in mind that this changes minute by minute. Donald Trump changes his mind on tariffs often, very frequently. So it always pisses me off, because by the time I release the video, we could be living in a whole different trade war by then. But what Donald Trump did was he pulled back on the 145% tariffs, which from what I'm understanding from right now is that we're still looking at like a 50 to 60% tariff, I believe, on China, which, if you're not sure exactly what that means, that's still an astronomical fucking number. That is absolutely destructive at those rates. The 145 was just insane. At that point, China was like, I guess we're done doing business here, right? 50, 60%, still absolutely ridiculous. Now, I don't know if anybody caught this. I'm sure a lot of people caught this, but yesterday in the Oval Office, Donald Trump straight up acknowledged that tariffs cause higher prices and that it would cause people to not buy products. If he knows this, then we can only start to assume at this point that what he's doing is for malicious reasons, and we can throw out all the bullshit he said on the campaign trail about how he was going to lower prices on day one. And enough of this bullshit. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, I'm so sick of MAGA, that fucking cult, and their stupid shit that comes out of their mouth. I can't take it anymore. But you hear all this, well, he's got to do everything to fix what Joe Biden did, and that's why everything's got to get fucked up before he can fix it. Enough of the bullshit. Joe Biden handled Donald Trump a perfectly fine economy. Sure, could you make some improvements? Absolutely. We all want to see more money in our bank accounts, don't we? But he handed him a perfectly good economy, and all of this falls 100% on Donald Trump. This is all his fault, all these fucking trade wars. But anyways, Donald Trump had to get a stern talking to by people smarter than him, CEOs of big companies. Now, like I said, I'm not cutting them any slack. I'm not saying they're great people, but everyone's smarter than Donald Trump. He's not setting the bar real fucking high. But they had explained to him how these tariffs are going to negatively impact, of course, their business, their bottom line, their paychecks, all that shit. But they did explain to him, from my understanding of this conversation, is that they're not going to be able to sell product, and this is harmful to the consumers. which may have been part of the reason in the pullback on the tariffs. Remember what I said earlier though, these tariffs are still astronomically fucking high. So I don't know why the market is reacting positively today. I haven't checked it for a few hours. I don't know why it reacted positively yesterday, because the tariffs are still stupid fucking high. But it's all speculation, right? Well, maybe tomorrow, maybe today, Donald Trump will fold entirely and we'll stop having all this bullshit going on. But I got a feeling, I don't know which way this is going to go, honestly. Is he going to learn his lesson and stop with the stupid shit? Or are we going to spend the next 4 years of constant on and off trade wars? Which, like, from a selfish point of view is fine. People watch those videos when I talk about Donald Trump destroying the economy, but that's not a good enough reason. That's why I didn't vote MAGA, my friends. If I was voting for selfish reasons and I thought it was going to fuck you over, I would have voted for Donald Trump. But you know what? I happen to give a shit that other people survive out there and make it. The world ain't all about me, believe it or not. Can you believe that? I know it's tough, man, but we got to realize the world ain't all about me. So, I got distracted. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. But anyways, I forgot. It's gone. It left my brain, my friends. Obviously, this makes things much harder for the consumers here in America and weakens our relationships with other countries. And it seems that the CEOs have talked at least a little bit of sense into Donald Trump and has caused him to pull back a little bit. What we need for him is to learn his fucking lesson and just stop with all the bullshit. Stop with all the fucking lies. All right, it's not going to get worse before it gets better. That's not a real thing in this fucking scenario. It's not going to bring manufacturing back to America. There are ways to do that. There's really, I'm not an economist, but I don't see ways to do that without increasing prices anyways, because we need the infrastructure. We're going to demand wages that make it so we can survive here. There's a good possibility there'd be union representation going into these manufacturing plants, and I don't see any other way besides the system that we have. But obviously I'm not in charge of the world, so I don't fucking know. Anyways, stop with the bullshit. It's going to get worse before it's going to get better. It's going to bring manufacturing back to America. None of that is fucking real. And the point I tried to make yesterday that I didn't make very effectively is you may see a factory here and there being built. That may be a thing that's going on in America, but there is no massive push by America or the American government or American companies to do this on a large scale. That's not fucking happening. That's not going on. Anyways, the point I wanted to get to was I think the damage is done, at least for the foreseeable future. Long term, I think countries are just going to look for other long-term trading partners and completely cut us out of the equation. And well, if Donald Trump wins an election in this country, we kind of fucking deserve it. And I don't mean all of us, don't get me wrong. A lot of us are going to struggle with this, and we didn't vote for this bullshit, right? But the short term, I think we're going to see a lot of fucking problems. There are predictions that the ports are going to basically dry up of freight next week, starting around May. And a lot of my viewers that work in different parts of the transportation industry have told me in the comments their observations of what's going on out there, seeing slowdowns. Other truckers that maybe do local jobs are getting cut a day off of work. The ports, inbound shipments, outbound shipments, all these things have definitely slowed, according to a lot of my viewers. And I don't doubt what they're saying at all. The thing is, global logistics takes a long time. There's a whole fucking process. We are, in my estimates, and I'm not a complete expert on this, once these ports slow down and people start losing jobs, losing work, things like that, we are at very least 1 month from having that situation fixed. That's the best case scenario. You know, if you take into consideration the time to manufacture a product and get it packaged and shipped over to the shipyards to get on a boat and head across the ocean, you're maybe a weekend at that point. And then people are telling me you're like a 20-day trip by ship to get to the American ports. And then, I don't know, you've got a 2-day maybe delay, 2-3-day delay. I don't know how long necessarily things get held at the ports. And then let's say you're taking that to middle America from the ports. You're a good 3-4 day truck ride to do that. You're at least a month in. If Donald Trump were to go, look, if he were to come out and say, I fucked up, I didn't understand fucking tariffs, I've been very destructive to the country, I want to apologize to the American people, I want to apologize to Canada. This is a fantasy. I'm having a wet dream over here, my friends, where Donald Trump comes out and says he was wrong and he apologized. I'm going to need to change my fucking pants after this video. He apologizes to Mexico, he even apologizes to China. And I know that China's not a perfect thing. A lot of people have their reasons to be against China, which is something I need to maybe investigate more to develop an opinion on China as a country. But China as a trading partner is essential to America. We're 100%, well, not 100%, but we are very, very dependent on them. All right. So he comes out, he apologizes, says, I'm done with the tariffs. I'm off my bullshit now. And let's just get back to business. Look, let's get back to trading and doing business. If that happens today, the best case scenario is a month from now, things start to pick up again. Donald Trump, within the next week or two, is going to be solely responsible for people's lower paychecks because they're not getting as many hours, or people losing their jobs. And there's no more of this Joe Biden did it bullshit. That doesn't exist anymore because Joe Biden didn't start trade wars over and over and over and then back up on the trade wars. He didn't threaten to annex Canada and Greenland. He didn't threaten to take back the Panama Canal, which definitely is going to weaken our relationships with the world. Joe Biden didn't do any of that shit, all right? So from here on out, and I know MAGA's not going to hear it, they're not going to hear it. They keep moving the goalpost on me, my friends. They keep moving the fucking goalpost. Is anybody else frustrated with that? Well, he'll fix it, but now give him 6 months. No, fuck that. He said day one. You voted for day one. Day one's long gone, all right? But anyways, that ship has sailed, not literally, the ship's still over there in China, but our relationships are completely fucked, and we are that 1 month prediction is best case scenario, best fucking case. Strap in, motherfuckers, because Donald Trump just made your life a lot fucking worse, and I'm not celebrating that unless you voted for it. And in that case, well, then you fucking deserve it. You should have been paying attention. But I do feel bad for all the people out there that are going through a hard time, that were informed enough to look at their options when it came to voting and didn't even see Donald Trump as a viable option. I feel bad for the people that are having to deal with that. We'll try to navigate through it our best. I'll give out any information that I get as I come across it, but they're saying a week, my friends. Next week is when shit's really supposed to hit the fan. And you know what? What's funny about that, my last closing note, is none of that's like hearsay or conspiracy theory or anything. They track manufacturing. They track the ships going across the ocean. They track the trains and trucks that go across our country and all the countries of the world. For people to be able to tell when things going to hit, when shit's going to hit the fan, you can tell because everything is tracked globally. And we are expecting to see some major fucking problems here within the next week or two. I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news. Anyways, I got to get back to work while I still have a job. Love you guys. Bye now.